Excuse me. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Crypto Crow. We are live. Got a lot of stuff to cover. I've got an interview I'm going to be doing. I'm going to cover Houdini swap. I'm going to cover Cardano's price, Bitcoin's price, some Cardano news, Valinity, and what's going on with the Germans and what they're doing with Bitcoin and crypto. And I'm hoping I don't have any kind of technical issues because I've had just a wonky bunch of stuff going on. So hopefully it all works out and I don't cut out and everything remains good. So we'll see. Some of you guys know I had like dental surgery recently. I had a couple teeth pulled back here, and I guess we're going to do an implant over like 7 months. I guess this stuff takes forever. And my wife made dinner the other night, and I was eating, and I noticed that I had something really long hanging down. Apparently I ripped the stitches out and it's still hanging. It's just flinging around in there. And I'm like debating, because it's been a couple of weeks, and I'm debating, should I just yank it and pull it all out? Because I'm supposed to go in and have them cut them out anyways, like any time, I think. But I'm skeptical. I'm not sure what to do. So doesn't really hurt or anything, but it's just, I've got this long stitch that's just hanging down. I just keep playing with it. I figure maybe if I play with it long enough, it'll just fall out. Anyway, let's go ahead and start looking at what's going on, because I'm going to be having Sergio with Valinity on with a big update. And you pulled yours out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like if I can do it without going back to the dentist, that'd be great, but I don't want to do any damage either. So yeah, we are live. Wish I had more money to buy ADA at these prices. Yeah, we're going to look at that, because this, honestly, I think we're going to have another leg lower. I did the video where, we were lining up perfectly with the Wyckoff reaccumulation, and it could still very much be in play, but I just, I think, I just think they're trying to push it down even further, unless this is a fake out. I mean, we could be in a fake out, and then we do spring right up into a new all-time high. I mean, we should be. I mean, by all accounts and measures, we should be, but there's still a lot of metrics saying that, we could still be going down. Personally, I think that it's very likely. I think that you can't buy Apex yet. Trust me, I've been waiting. I'll be updating people as soon as I have updates. It's just, they've been building and preparing and everything, and I haven't even talked to them much lately. So yeah, I'm waiting for Apex Fusion to launch, folks. Trust me. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into what's going on. And should I make this a little bigger? Let me see here. Yeah, I can shorten that a little bit. There we go. All right, so Bitcoin having their fun. Last week, Germany linked Bitcoin wallet moved 1,300 Bitcoin to crypto exchanges Bitstamp, Coinbase, and Kraken. Shortly after, an additional 1,700 Bitcoin, valued at $99 million, was transferred. The Bitcoins were similarly sent across crypto exchanges, Bitstamp, Coinbase, blah, blah, blah. Okay. German government selling up to $175 million in Bitcoin. In the past 2 hours, the German government has moved Bitcoin. I get it. They have also moved 1,700 to another address. These funds are likely moving to a deposit. And then it's basically showing a breakdown of all of these transactions. People are tracking this. In the grand scheme of things, it's really not that much. I mean, here's the thing that I want to point out about, because I showed this, I broke this down on my locals. For those of you that are in here, I basically shared the screenshot of this Wyckoff reaccumulation pattern that we're matching with, identically. Okay. And I showed this the other day, and, but the truth is, stuff like this is what Wall Street does to trade the market. This is ultimately the kind of stuff market makers use to move the markets up and down. I do believe there's a significant amount of coordination between market makers. There has to be, to move the market the way they do. And in the grand scheme of things, even a $2 or $3 trillion Bitcoin market really isn't that big. based off of how market capitalization works and, you know, what they actually have to move to make the price move. And I do believe there's a lot of coordinated activity with a lot of this. And I think it only gets worse as the paper trades, you know, the ETFs and things like that continue to grow. It makes it easier to move the market. The less that's available on, because we might have 20 million Bitcoin, but if the bulk of them are locked up or they're sitting on wallets or they're controlled by, you know, central institutions or any of that, you know, then listen, this is what we're looking at. It's easily manipulated. The price is easily moved, which is one of the reasons why I like the market cipher indicator. And if you're not a member of my locals, you need to join it. I'm starting to do this thing where anybody that asks me questions, I'm answering in article form on my local. So I'm gathering up a bunch of the questions and I'm answering them I'm answering the bulk of them in a big article. But anyway, this stuff only plays out if we don't have big stuff like this happening to kind of mess things up a bit. So while we could be in a potential area for having a spring, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to play out identically if we have outside influence to what the market makers and the institutions and everybody else are doing. So that's that. So we'll see how this pans out, but it's making things a little shaky, and so we're going to cover that. I've got Sergio getting ready. I'm going to be bringing him on here in a little bit as we're going to talk about a big update with Valinity. Those of you that have been following this, I generally update you guys on my Valinity account a couple times a week, roughly. And, you know, the price is currently, the VI price is sitting at about 66 cents, which actually is not too shabby given where we're at in the market and how everything is dumped. I've seen it in the 80s. And, you know, prior to the big dumps. And so my yield available currently is sitting at around $1,100, which is actually shocking to me because the last time I actually looked at this, it was at about like $380. So it's more than doubled since I've looked at that last. And that's actually pretty slick. So I'm actually enjoying what I'm seeing here on Valinity. So we're going to have Sergio on in a bit. We're going to talk about a big update he's really excited to talk about. And let's see here. Houdini swap version 3 is now live for those of you that are interested in this. 4,000 private routes, 7.5 million standard routes across any chain. Swap, send, bridge, Houdini it. And for those of you that don't know, this is a paid segment, but for those of you that don't know, Houdini swap I've talked about in the past, and they are basically here's what happened to me recently that actually brings this, shed some light on this, why I think this is kind of cool. I was actually, when I made my ICP purchase, I had my stable token, right? And I'm thinking, okay, I want to pick up some ICP. But in order for me to do that, I had to basically send my stable token over to an exchange. And then I had to go into the spot exchange. And as I'm doing that, the spot exchange was so slow. I had to refresh multiple times. I was like, why is this so slow? And I noticed it's slow on some chains, not on others. Bitcoin loaded fine. But the majority of like alt trading was extremely slow. It took me like a half an hour. I'm not going to lie. I was just like waiting for things to load. And I'm like, what is happening? It didn't make any sense. It had happened before when I made my big Bitcoin to Cardano buy when the spread was huge and I was getting like 175,000 ADA for one Bitcoin. And it's like, while that's happening, it's taking forever. And I could very well be losing an opportunity to make an effective trade. And so having something like Houdini swap, I should have actually probably used it. I didn't even think of it, to be honest, because I don't generally use swaps a lot myself. But not only is Houdini swap able to trade a lot of stuff on the market, it's private. So, you know, given whatever you want to do, you can use the standard swap or you can use a private swap. And there is a link in the description below. So if you're interested in something like this, I encourage you to check it out. They did pay me. They paid me, I think it was like 7,000 in Ethereum and then another grand in lock token. So that's all disclosed below. But this is something I'm going to look into I'm going to start using something like this. I'm not necessarily concerned with the private stuff, though. for people, a lot of people say, well, the private swaps, private transfers, that's all like to try and hide from the government. No, it's actually, for me, I'm actually into stuff like I file my taxes. I do all my taxes. My accountant imports everything I've done for the year into all his systems and calculates everything for me. So whether it's private on the public side or not, when I'm importing all my transactions and everything I've done for the year, that all gets calculated regardless. But what does bother me sometimes is the idea of like hackers and people that are looking to do no good, basically trying to monitor things that I do, which is one of the reasons why I do a lot of stuff on a lot of different wallets. I don't have any particular one wallet that I use for everything. I don't. I do a lot of things on a lot of wallets, and I have a different wallet for everything I do, if that makes sense. So, for me, private swapping isn't an anti-government thing. It's just a privacy thing. You know what I mean? I mean, if I want to go out on and I want to buy, a copy of Penthouse magazine with some Bitcoin, I don't necessarily want the world to know that's what I'm doing. Let's be honest. I'm using that as an example. I haven't owned a Penthouse since I was 13. But I don't know if I've ever actually owned one. I'm just trying to make the joke. But anyway, total swap volume on Houdini swap currently is $544,735,000. Lock buybacks are around 9.8 million. Total transactions are about 180,000. So this is a growing protocol, and it could actually be really worth your while in checking out. I would suggest, doing some research, making sure you're comfortable. I don't know a lot about DeFi apps in the sense that it's not typically my go-to for everything I do all the time. So, this kind of thing interests you, you can stake on it. There's a big guide here on how everything works. You've got analytics, and then of course a blog, and then a thing for your lock tokens. You can get lock on Houdini, on Uniswap, and MEXC. So yeah, I mean, check this out if it interests you. I've got some lock token they sent me. I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to hold on to it. I'm not dumping it or selling it. They're not telling me what to do with it, but it's the same with like my VI tokens, like my Valinity tokens I'm keeping because, I want to see how far this yield gets over the course of the next year. And go over some quick news, and then I'm going to bring Sergio on. I'm pretty sure he's waiting at this point. I wasn't expecting him until 1. So he's early, and I like that. He's prepared. He's ready to go. So the Chang hard fork, folks, is about a week away. This is going to be a really big deal, and I'm expecting to see some pumps into towards the end of this month. Because here we are, 7/8/2024. I would say within the next week or week and a half, this should probably kick off. I know my dev is ready to update the Crow node to get us to 9.0. And Charles Hoskinson himself said, basically, it's already here. We're ready. They're ready to launch this. It's probably going to kick off with the latest update for all of us node operators, stake pool operators. And I'm excited about this. This is going to be a really big deal. But he's basically going over, a lot of the stuff that's happening. He also touched on the significant roadmap milestones yet to come, including Plutus version 3, Hydra, Laos, and Mithril. They forgot the R, presenting them as strong candidates for the next governance vote. This vote will essentially ratify the final state of Basho and how resources are to be allocated, underscoring the shift towards a fully community-driven development model. This is such a big deal, man. I mean, seriously, how many of you actually realize where we're at in crypto right now, especially with Cardano? You know what really pisses me off every time I'm looking up crypto news or I'm looking up Cardano news? I'm so tired of seeing paid marketing attaching themselves to Cardano as though Cardano is in some weird situation that somehow this brand new shitcoin they're buying advertising for on like Z Crypto and all these other crypto sites, that it's somehow performing better or it's like a better, that stuff just drives me nuts. I see it and I just I wish I had the time to point out every single one of these bullshit articles. We are on the cusp of, quite frankly, what I believe to be one of the most pivotal points in blockchain technology in the future of decentralization, because Chang hard fork is bringing it, and this is going to be such a big deal. This is every benefit that the Chang hard fork has for Cardano. Number one, unlocks governance. Dang on it. All right, we'll use this. Unlocks governance. It burns the Genesis keys. This is crazy. Gives more utility to ADA, puts Cardano in the hands of holders, introduces DREPs, NCC, builds a constitution for the chain, further decentralizes the chain. This is going to be such a big deal. And I'm like, I don't think folks realize how bullish this is because nobody's ever done anything quite like that before. And real quick on Houdini, the lock token, this is Ethereum or ERC20 based, a max supply of 100 million lock tokens. You've got the smart contract address over here, Uniswap version 3 pool. So if you're wanting to pick up your lock tokens, so you can utilize those with Houdini swap. Now let's take a quick look at, we've got about 8 minutes here. So this is the current Y-Coffrey accumulation chart for Bitcoin. And I mean, listen, so far we have not gone below this. So we could potentially hang out around here and move to the upside and continue where I expect the price to move if we are going to confirm this Y-Coffrey accumulation pattern. But as of yet, I'm still not sold. We would really need to break above and hold the $61,000 level. And so far, obviously, we have not done that. Could we be on our way, but maybe Germany dumping their tokens? I'm not sure how much volume we're getting from Mt. Gox and basically all these people dumping their Bitcoin tokens on the market right now, which truly does not make any sense whatsoever unless there's a concentrated effort to try and dump the prices lower and the market makers are just kind of letting it happen if it's going to, so that they could pick up some of the liquidity down around the $51,000 level for one last ditch effort to clean that up before we start moving into a new all-time high territory. So I don't really know 100% what to expect. It's not looking fantastic, but as of yet, we have not broken down below the 53,300, basically the 53.4 level. And, I'm really hoping we don't see 52,000, but I'm honestly not convinced we're not going to. And it could all still be a part of ultimately the spring of the reaccumulation pattern we're in. So it is what it is. I'm not really holding my breath, though. However, if I'm looking at Cardano, we're basically now just ranging inside of this flag. And we broke above it and before everything started crashing, then we broke below it. Now we're ranging inside it again. And it's just like, this is nonsense. The way the price has been moving on these assets lately has just been absolutely nonsense. You guys know I picked up my my ICP tokens at around 650. And, it was doing really well for a minute. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's getting back to $8 already. And, here we are. We're in a bit of a retracement again. The price does not make any sense right now outside of, what's happening with Mt. Gox and these other folks in Germany. So 8.9.4 is the current latest update for the Cardano node. 36% of stake pool operators are on there. And we're going to take a quick look at the liquidity charts here. This is the liquidity heat map that's on a 24-hour. And you can see right around this level, at around $54,000, there's very little, 13.5 million. But if we move to a weekly liquidation heat map, which I know everybody's referencing this now on crypto YouTube, we get to, there's 300 million, all the way down. If we get all the way down to like $52,000, I mean, there's a lot of money sitting here, and it's not highly concentrated. But just this point right here, $570 million worth of liquidations ready to go at around $59,000 rather. So, but if they're using Mt. Gox for momentum, they're using Germany to help momentum. I'm actually surprised if we are going to swing down into the, below the $52,000 mark, just basically sending capitulation to an all-time high on ultimately the fear in the market. That could be happening, but I'm surprised it hasn't just happened in one fell swoop using the volume that the sell pressure of these assets being dumped on the market are creating. Exchange Bitcoin futures open interest currently on CME about $7.72 billion. On Binance, it's $6.73 billion. And what do you guys think about the BNB token thrown out as though it is not a security recently by a judge, basically just kicking the SEC in the teeth once again, basically saying even the BNB token isn't a security, folks. It's obvious that the narrative is changing dramatically. I think at this point, you know, the SEC, it's time for the SEC to just tuck its tail and focus on what's happening instead of what they're trying to project. The majority of the assets in the crypto market are in fact not securities, and if BNB token isn't, if XRP isn't, then I'm not really sure what is at this point. So, you know, it's my, you know, I think even a lot of the new regulatory data coming out and what they're proposing and the way we change how we regulate Bitcoin and the like, everything is basically saying, listen, you need to look at this stuff as a commodity. And, you know, the SEC and the CFTC should be working together to regulate these things. This isn't just an SEC domain, and we need to stop ruling through enforcement and basically keeping everybody afraid of the market. It's time to embrace blockchain, embrace crypto. It's obviously not going anywhere. And the longer we keep playing these games, the longer we're going to be cut out of the mix. And this is all money. You know, they find, let's just keep the old guard, the old way of doing things, and let's just jack up everybody's taxes to start paying for all this frivolous spending we're doing, rather than just embrace the technology that's ultimately going to change the world anyway. We know that a lot of people, Larry Fink especially, BlackRock, all of these groups, they see it, they know it's coming. Why are they even giving the illusion that they're against it when they know that this ultimately does, to a large degree, play into what their overall agendas are to begin with? So, you know, that's it for now. Let's bring on Sergio and let's talk about what's happening with Valinity. I'm going to go ahead and bring him on stage. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Good to see you again.
Hear you. Let me see if there's anything on my end for some reason, or is it your mic turned off?
Hello, hello, hello.
No, still don't
check,
hear
check,
you.
Check.
I don't think it's anything on my end.
Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I can hear it on my end.
Nothing yet.
Okay.
Maybe go into the settings on the link I sent you. Maybe you've got to just select your mic. Sometimes it resets itself.
What about now? Can you hear me?
Oh,
now?
you guys hear him? Oh, they hear you, but I don't somehow.
Oh.
Let me see. Maybe it's something on my end for my audio. Let me double check. Audio.
Hello,
oh,
hello.
I think it was my end. Hold on. Okay, let's see if I hear you now.
Hello, hello.
There you go. All right. Well, I am the one with the bad thing. Okay, good. I love chat. Chat always helps me through everything. Anyway, Sergio, it's nice to have you on, man. We've been planning on doing something for a while.
Yes.
And finally caught up. And somehow, I don't know if you got a filter, man. Why do you look 10 years younger than the last time I saw you? Something's happening.
I'm actually going to from last time we spoke, and I talked to Nick. He told me you're a big time fighter, and I'm like, you know what? One day maybe I'll meet Crow and we'll go into the ring. So I've been hitting the.
Oh, this guy wants to fight me. Look at this. I'm trying to help him out. He wants to knock my teeth out. God dang. All right.
I've been.
Are you trying to make yourself younger as I get older? Is that what this is? We're gonna make this a real even fight. Okay.
We're gonna do a Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I thought if I ever did fight again, I would there are only two guys I think I would consider fighting right now, and that would be Sam Alvey over at Karate Combat. I've actually talked to him about it, not because I don't like him. I actually love the guy. But he's the only guy that I feel like I could just try and murder him in the pit, and he would just laugh and smile the whole time, and it wouldn't be any big deal. You know what I mean? It would be just a sporty, fun thing, and I wouldn't be like, oh, I feel terrible. I'm just punching the shit out of this guy. Or Bradley Martin, because he's so big that I'm like, you know, dude, you're the same size as me, but like a foot shorter. You're all muscle. Like what am I going to do to you? I'm an old guy. I'm 46. Come on. I've got all the gray hair in the world. I'm starting to look like Gandalf. But yeah, man, you look younger now than you did the last time I talked to you.
Thank you. Been working out a lot.
My Valinity yield, it's just kind of shooting up lately. I'm at like $1,100 in yield since I had you on here last.
I'm happy you're getting to experience the Valinity effect. What I would like to do is that I would like to have like a little recap on how Valinity works, so you can have a little recap of why you're generating yield, how is this yield being generated, and so that the users can also get to see, also have a little bit surprise for you, and want to talk about V2. So if you want, I'm gonna present screen and get into it right away, and show you how you're making that yield, what's happening right now.
Show me the way.
Perfect. Let me see. Here it is. Okay, perfect. You able to see my screen?
Yeah, I went ahead and added it.
All right, perfect. Okay, so for those people that don't know me or haven't heard the story about Valinity, I was a big time stock investor before COVID came. When COVID came, my portfolio went to basically zero. Went to having a lot of money to get into a lot of debt. So through that, I was getting into crypto, and I was trying to understand how I can create a project or a coin that can't go under a certain value, right? So then I thought about when the dollar is backed by gold. I'm like, let's do the same thing, but let's back it by something that we all value in crypto, which is Ethereum. So Ethereum right now backs every single coin into our ecosystem. Right now, Valinity has generated 1,357 Ethereums. I don't know if you remember, Crow, last time we met.
It was like 1,100 back then.
Yeah, it was like 1,290. So we generated like 150 Ethereums from that point, right? And all those Ethereums that we have in our ecosystem, which is 1,358, back all our coins in circulation. So you divide the amount of Ethereum that we have, and you divide it by all the coins in circulation, and you get a amount of Ethereum that's back in each coin. So right now, each coin is being backed by 0.00107 Ethereums, right? So that's the simple concept of what Valinity is. Now, the main point of Valinity is to consistently generate more Ethereum per coin. And it does that through three functions. One, when there's a high demand of the coin, the ecosystem generates more Ethereum by minting Valinity, selling it in the market, and bringing that Ethereum into our network. When it does that, it brings more Ethereum than coins and makes the amount of Ethereum back in each coin grow. And every single other transaction from buying and selling and transacting from user to user has a 2% fee that burns coins, takes them out of circulation, leaving more Ethereum per coin. And also when users stake Valinity. So by staking Valinity, users are able to lock their Valinity in our smart contract and claim the amount of Ethereum that's back in each coin. So right now, the community has claimed 1,270 Ethereums, and the rest is in our locked contract. So just to sum up everything, it's very simple. You have all the Ethereum back in each coin, and every single transaction either adds more Ethereum to the ecosystem or burns coins, leaving more Ethereum per coin. That's why the amount of Ethereum back in each coin grows. So if you see in March, before we launched our liquidity pool, each coin was backed by 0.0094. At the end of April, it was 98. At the end of May, it was 101. And the end of June is 105. And right now, we're sitting at 107. So every single transaction that's happening in the ecosystem, either new Ethereum being added or coins being burned, it's making the amount of Ethereum back in each coin grow. And that's what you're seeing in your wallet, Crow. So you can see that the amount that is growing is the difference of what you already took in out into what is growing to this point. Were you able to follow me there? You have any questions?
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so something that I want to show everyone is that, for example, the biggest things that we wanted to resolve were rug pulls and pump and dumps. So for a rug pull and pump and dump, the biggest risk would be basically the founder, which in this case is me, who has the majority of the coins because I bought them from the ecosystem at the lowest point, right? Because that's the only way you can mint them. But if you can see, 95% of the coins are being staked in the smart contract. So when you go view it and you go see that the smart contract is holding basically 12 million coins, it's holding all the coins in our network. And I think it's even holding your coins, Crow, because you have them reverse staked. So you have them locked in this contract and you have claimed the Ethereum that's backing them. And meanwhile, the ecosystem is growing more. you're able to claim more Ethereum. So that's where you're seeing that yield from. Even if the market is going down and the price is going down, it's still consistently generating more Ethereum for you to take out.
I noticed that. Yeah, it is. It has been.
So that creates two main points. One is that you have less selling pressure because you sell in the market because you want to get liquidity, right? Or you want to take profit take. But since Valinity lets you take liquidity, minimum 50%, and consistently generate more liquidity for you through the yield rate, you're not incentivized to sell. Because why would you sell if you already took out 50% and you're consistently taking out more and more until you take out 100% of your investment in, and you still hold the Valinity token, consistently generating more Ethereum for you and growing in price against Ethereum. So that creates an ecosystem that you have much less sales, less offers, more demand. We know that will make price fluctuation to the upside. Another thing that I want to show here is I want to show you an update on our graph against Ethereum. So if you see, since we launched on the Ethereum network in May 31st, you see the little gap between the price points is consistently getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And even now, Ethereum, when it's dropping, that price gap is getting thicker and thicker, even on the drop. Because what it's doing is that each coin, each Valinity is consistently generating more Ethereum behind it. So it's making it on the downside go lower at a lower pace because it's consistently generating more Ethereum. And on the upside, it's growing at a much higher pace than Ethereum. So when you get to see this, that you end up seeing that Valinity is basically the same thing as holding Ethereum, but much better because each coin is consistently generating more Ethereum for you, and that Ethereum is liquid. You're able to access that Ethereum without having to sell the token. So it gives you a great opportunity to take profit. Meanwhile, it's going up, and you have much less risk because you already took out majority of your investment when you reverse stake. Now, yeah, you were going to ask me a question?
Well, I was just curious. I think about all this stuff and I'm like, I'm enjoying the yield and I'm enjoying like what I've been seeing because I look at it pretty much every day. Like since I talked to you and I had you on last when we first set this all up, I've been paying attention. And the VI token, the market price, I mean, there have been times where I expected to go into it and see it just not be worth a shit because the whole market's dumping. And I'm like, oh my God, it's at like 73 cents. How is that? Right. And then, you know, it's taken some time for this to come. I mean, it's at 66 cents now, but this is the lowest I've seen it. And it makes sense though, because the entire market is basically just taking a huge dump for weeks. But I have noticed that like the price of the token has not been as dramatically affected as a lot of the other stuff, including Ethereum. Like Ethereum right now, it's down 1.18% on the 24-hour. It's under $3,000. It's about 29.61. But then you see like the VI price is down just 0.54%. So all of that stuff is cool, right? The yield rate is cool. The yield I've been seeing is great. I'm really curious to see, like, I'm not touching this until like, you know, towards the end of the year. I'm like, where are we at? What have we done over the course of this year? Because then for me, it's going to be about, okay, well, when I ever do finally decide to just exit my positions, then it's like, all right, well, what does that mean for Valinity towards the next cycle? And I want to watch what happens with it. You know, is this something that maybe I might start, you know, when I think the market is bottomed as opposed to when the bull market stops, right? Because start, because that's kind of what we've done. Like once the bull market has started, okay, now we're into it. But like, what would have happened if I would have got into this at the bottom of the bear market and then let this go all the way up to now? That's what I'm really curious to see. But outside of all of that, what other, like, do you have plans for any other utility or anything using the VI token to increase its demand for things outside of just the DeFi platform?
Well, right now, where we're setting up is V2, which is we're going to add other assets into our ecosystem, right? So like right now, what you're seeing, if you look at the graph, the price fluctuation follows a lot of Ethereum because we are pegged basically to Ethereum. But because each Valinity is consistently generating more Ethereum, it doesn't let it drop as much as Ethereum does. And when it goes back up, it's going to grow much faster. So, for example, if you look at it here, when Ethereum was at $4,000, we were at 74, 76 cents, right? But if you see that gap between it is not as big as the gap we have now. So when Ethereum jumps back to 4,000, we're probably going to be around $1, close to $1, because that gap is getting bigger and bigger. Now, for V2, what we're going to do is that we're going to add different assets. But before we talk to about little V2, I'm going to show you, I want to show you something that a lot of people don't really understand, that Valinity can never go under this price point, which is right now 0.00107, that we fix that problem of pump and dumps and rug pulls. And the reason that you're seeing so much price fluctuation to the upside and not so much down to the downside as Ethereum is that if you can see, majority of our holders are buyers. And the sellers, when you click it on the sellers and you actually click on the transaction, what's doing, it's actually getting Ethereum from our liquidity pool and putting it into our network. So if you see where the Ethereum is going, that Ethereum is basically going to our contract with our yield rate treasury, which is here, which is making this number grow. So just to follow that is that majority of our holders, or majority of the people are getting into Valinity, they're buying, they're not selling for them to get liquidity, they're just reverse staking. They're just locking the coins and getting liquidity and enjoying from the yield, right? They don't need it to sell. So that's why you see the price point work like that. And that's why you'll see much more buys than sales. What I want to actually show everyone here on this live, and the surprise that I had for you, is that I want to show everyone how Valinity can't go under this price point, right? So what I'm actually going to do is that from my own personal wallet, I'm going to unstake. I'm going to unstake some portion of my Valinity. I'm going to pay back some of the Ethereum that I've claimed into our ecosystem so I can get some of my Valinity back. And you can see how the ecosystem works. And then from that, I'm going to talk a little bit about V2, how we're going to add other assets and how that's going to even make the game completely different now. Because now we're not even going to be backed only by Ethereum, but we're also going to be backed by Bitcoin and gold. So it would be nice if you look at your wallet and you can see, yes, the wallet that you have of Valinity, right? And if you see right now, so let's look at this numbers. See this, right now, the floor price is 32, right? The yield is 32. The amount of Ethereum in our network right now is 87, 1,270. Let's go view in the contract. That actually grew now. So if you see, that grew from 87 to actually 98 because I paid back some Ethereum and got unlocked my tokens. So now instead of being locked here, I sent them to my contract. So now that number has gone down, as you can see. Now we're going to go see in the market. And I'm going to do this. I'm actually going to sell a big amount. And if you're ready with your wallet, I want you to be able to see what happens with the price dump. You see this?
Holy cow.
You see this right now? But if you're able to get in, try to get, before it pumps up back up, before our community looks at it, try to get some Valinity before they get into it, because I know the people that already know how our ecosystem works are probably going to jump on it right now. Because I want to show you something.
Oh, wow. So the Vibe market price dropped to 41 cents.
Yes, because I sold a big amount. I just sold a big amount. Are you able to get in right now? Let me know when you get in.
Oh, let's see here. What? See, I don't trade any of this. So what exchange should I go
on
to?
Uniswap. On the same wallet. Okay. Yeah. In the same wallet, you have Valinity. go to Uniswap.
Okay. Launch app. Okay. Okay. Right. Yes. All right. Select token. Why? There it is. All right. And so what? I'm trying to buy like
$400 just so you can just test it out. I want to show you how the yield rate goes. So even though the VI token dropped from 60 cents to 41 cents, the yield rate is still the same. So if you can get it right now before the price starts going up and you get it at 40 cents, you're able to see and come and reverse stake that same amount of V at 32 cents. It shows you that you got basically 80% of your investment out. The closer it is to the yield rate, the better.
Oh, swap success. Okay.
You got it? Perfect. So now, let's say you got that $500, right? I think that's you right here, right? Yeah, I'm guessing this is you.
Probably it's like 400.
Yeah. So now I would like you to go to our ecosystem, to the Valinity ecosystem. You see where you have the yield available? And go and you see that you reverse stake. And out of those 400, how much did you get back by reverse staking? You still own those coins.
Open a reverse stake pool.
Do you mind sharing screen so we can see that?
See this? I don't want to reverse stake everything in my wallet.
No, you just reverse stake the 400 that you just got. The yield rate that you've claimed is still going to be there. The yield rate that's been generated.
Oh, I got 941.29.
Yes.
Okay. I see. Confirm. It's taking a second. Yeah, I'm always weird about like sharing my screen doing transactions with wallets. I never know what's going to pop up, dude, and I just don't. Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
I might click something weird, and then all of a sudden this gets shown to the world. I'm like, nah, no thanks. Okay, confirm. Confirm. All right, so let's see. Looks like I received 0.0974 Ethereum at 289.70 in value. It's submitting the transaction. So I deposited 941.29 VI token. Okay.
So what you can see is that you put in $400, right? Right at
and I'm basically getting like 290 back in Ethereum for reverse staking it, which I'm going to get the yield from over time.
Exactly. So you're basically getting this amount of Ethereum. What I want to show the community, what I want to show the world is that doesn't matter what happens. Let's say I keep on selling. I try to sell as much as possible. Even if I keep on selling right now, I'm going to try to keep selling right now and get it to this point, to 32 cents. When you get it here, you're able to buy it and come here and get the same 32 cents. So even if, let's say, it drops a little bit underneath it, you're able to buy it, then come to Valinity and get 32 cents for it. Valinity will never drop between this price point in Ethereum. And as you can see through the previous months that you've been using the ecosystem, this amount of Ethereum that's back in each coin just grows. So imagine when Ethereum grows. Now this 107 is now valued 32 cents, valued at 40 cents, 50 cents. It means that the floor price, that the lowest price that can get at is this, and that it can only grow up from there. So what I'm trying to show here is that Valinity is the first actual project that you should be very happy when the price actually dumps, because not only you get it in a better price point, but you're able to get much more percentage out from reverse staking.
The only thing that's puzzling to me is how easily you just move that market.
Yes.
I mean, you dumped it, and then And I didn't even look at it on a chart yet.
Yeah,
but,
can you show my screen again? Because here I have the chart here, so users can see it.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing what you were talking about in your presentation about price manipulation, and this is what really I created Valinity for, because there's no price manipulation here. Yes, I have a lot of tokens and I could sell them, but I can't dump them more than this point. It can never get under this point, or the amount of Ethereum is back in each coin. I can't manipulate it more than that, because you can only manipulate market by selling a lot or buying a lot. Let's say I sell a lot, and I keep even dumping the price. We know that the lowest price point is here. You can't manipulate it more than that. Right. And even if you get it there, it's just opening up a big opportunity for people to come in and take much less risk. So like right now, for the users that are coming in right now, they're doing these buys, they're taking only like a 20% risk, because they're able to reverse stake it and take out 80% of their money out, just like you did. Now, here's where I want to talk about V2. And V2, unless you have any questions there, or you have any concerns that you want to talk about there.
I'm looking at everything. So now the current Vibe market price is 43 cents. So we just sent the price down like 34 cents.
Yes, but that's not going to be there for long. I'm here giving the opportunity for your viewers and for people to come in and look at it and test it. But I'm going to buy back my tokens because I don't want to sell it at that price point.
Mm-hmm.
Because think about it right now. You just bought $400 worth, right? And you took out like 300, right? You took out majority of your money out, like 80%, 75% of your money out, right?
Yeah.
And then you already know that's generating yield consistently. So that's even going to take out more and more and more. I would never want to sell my tokens because I already can take out liquidity without having to sell them. I'm already able to take out 0.00107 Ethereums, and every month there's more and more and more and more. I'm doing this to show everyone that even if the price dumps, it can't dump under a certain price. It cannot be manipulated under a certain price. And even if it does, it's a good thing because you're able to get much percentage out when you reverse stake it. So right now I'm going to leave it here until the end of the show. Then I'm going to buy it back because I don't want to leave it. I don't want to have my coins out at a discount just like that. I'm basically, people are just taking out my money, right?
I get it, and I get the system. I get the whole thing. I think while you're showing, you know, I can't dump the price below this price point.
Yes,
I get that. That's cool. But what you also showed is that you single-handedly have the power to dump the price that much.
Yes.
Which I think is going to concern a lot of people, because if you ever do decide, you know what, this isn't doing what I expected to, if you dumped anybody that would have bought it, you know, at like 88 cents or whatever, it's like you have a lot of power. Like as the founder of this platform, you have a lot of power to kind of like bend your will ultimately, which I think is really evident.
Yes, but also think about that's the same scenario with every single crypto stock fiat in the world. Mm-hmm. The big holders of Bitcoin, if they decide to sell, just like Germany did, the price gets impacted.
Oh no,
the big holders of Ethereum, the big holders of Cardano, the big holders of everywhere, there's no limit. There's no limit. We're just 100% speculation. With Valinity, we know the biggest holder is Sergio, of course, because I created this project and I minted my own coins. I had to give Ethereum into the ecosystem to get my own coins at a cheaper rate. So I got a much more. Yes, I have a lot of coins, but you already know that there's a floor. It never can go under that. And even if I decide to, for X or Y reason, I decide to, it's a big benefit for you because you're able to take out not only 50, now you're able to take out 70, 80, 90% risk and still benefit on the yield and still benefit on the price fluctuation to the upside on 100% of your investment. And on top of that, I know a lot of what people say is one thing, but actions are different. On my wallet, everyone can track my wallet, is that BE4. I already took it out more than 600 Ethereums without having to sell. Why would I ever sell? Think about the yield that you've generated of your Ethereums. Imagine the yield that I've generated.
Oh,
I've
I'm
generated
not
much
saying
more.
you're not doing well,
Right? So the
yeah.
point is, like, why would I sell it? I'm selling it is to show you what you're, because I thought about it when you're talking about it, that price manipulation. I'm showing that we're creating an ecosystem that price manipulation can't really happen. We have that.
I mean, it can. It's just you're saying that it can't rug to zero overnight and catch everyone off guard. And I get that. And you're also saying even if ultimately you did dump the price, you know, people that are buying it at a much lower price, hopefully, you know, are going to bring the market back up, or when you buy back in and you're bringing the price back up and all that. I hear what you're saying. I understand both sides. I'm kind of playing the steel man here a bit because I know what, you know, I know what people are going to think, and I know what people are going to say, rightfully so, because it's jarring, right? It's jarring to say, okay, this one individual has the power to basically bend his will and play God in this market, but that is also true to basically any other crypto project. So I understand that. World. And you're basically saying, yes, I do have this power. I can dump the market a bit if I wanted to, but I can only dump it this far. And why would I want to? Because I benefit so much more from the yield I generate passively than if I were to just make a quick exit and get out. So I understand both sides of that equation there.
What I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to create that emotional impact. Like, whoa, what happened? I'm trying to show you the worst case scenario. What would happen if that does happen? Because one of the main things with Valinity is that I've been seeing how not only big holders can manipulate, like big financial institutions with a lot of money can manipulate our market, but also how governments can. Right? They can. So if I show, okay, this is the parameters that it can be manipulated, I want to show you, if you can let me present screen again. I want to show you this chart here.
Oh, what happened? I think it went away.
Yeah. So if you see this here, these are the two limited points. You have the amount of Ethereum that's backing each coin on the bottom side, so it can never dump under this, and the amount of Ethereum needed to mint new coins, so it can't pump over this. But every single transaction is making the amount of Ethereum backing each coin grow to the upside. And that makes the amount of Ethereum needed to mint each coin go to the upside. So the price can only be manipulated between these 2 points, but it's always growing to the upside. So what I'm trying to show is everyone, hey, we're tired of price manipulation. We're tired of being in the government's hand. We're tired of being in the big institutional mercy. In Valinity, we're at, of course, Sergio's mercy because I'm the creator. I have the majority of the coins. But let's see what would happen if he does that. I dump it as much as possible, right? I can't dump it more than here. Creates a great opportunity because users are able to get much more Ethereum back by reverse staking it. But eventually, this line is just going to keep growing. And that's going to make the amount of Ethereum keep growing as well.
So I think ultimately, like, I think people understand the system and this and what you've built. I think everybody gets that. And you're gonna hate me for this, man, but like I have to be honest, like I think everyone would feel better if they knew you didn't have access to all of that basically had the access to dump on a whim. Because even though obviously there are limitations to how far it can go down based off of what you do, you know, I think just knowing that there's an individual out there with the power. Now, granted, there's not that many holders yet, you know, like, so I don't know exactly how many there are, but and as this continues to grow, obviously your ability to do some things will lessen. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you're trying to build a church and you're the only one holding the sacrificial bread and wine. And it's kind of like, you know, it is jarring because you did create that moment. I saw the chat. Everybody's like, whoa, what the, how, this dude just tanked his own market like in a second. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I get that impact. And that's what I'm trying to create. That's what I'm really trying to create, because what I'm able to do is no different of what everyone else can do. Like if Elon Musk decides
You're
to
just at
sell
least
his
showing everybody that it's
yes,
possible.
I'm showing like if Elon Musk decides to sell a lot of the stock dumps.
Mhm.
If the Bitcoin governments that hold so much Bitcoin from X or Y reason dump, like we've seen the price dump.
Mhm.
If the creator of Cardano decides to sell because X or Y reason, that happened. That can happen. So I'm showing everyone, of course, this is the same thing, but there's certain parameters. I'm trying to create that moment. Let's go to the worst case scenario. Not when this is at 600 holder when we are right now. We doubled from the last time we spoke. When we're in the thousands, what happens as well? That limit, that I lose all power. I can't dump it for this lower than X price. That right now is 30 cents because if Ethereum is there. If Ethereum grows, that'll be 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents. It's a big impact, but that's the reality we are in with every single thing that we are there.
No,
Right?
I agree.
There's no
There's
difference
always
for anyone.
somebody
I'm
or a
just trying
group
to
of
be as
people.
transparent, trying to be as transparent as possible and show everyone what is the worst case scenario that could happen. Let me actually do that. Let me show everyone what's worst case scenario that can happen so they can see it. Okay, now let's dump it even more. I'll try to dump it even the lowest of the yield rate. When users buy, the reverse stake can take 100% of their money out and they still hold the token. That's still going to generate yield for them, like you've seen, and still grow in price against Ethereum, as you've seen. Because the math is very simple. Now you don't have to trust me. You trust now the blockchain. You trust now Certec that's verified everything. The last thing you need to trust is that I have the power to hold these tokens is to sell them. What would happen in that scenario? And I just showed it right now. What would be the worst case scenario from that? Now, let's give it more time, a couple more months, and see how that keeps on growing. But I want to see if you understand what I'm trying to put out there so that people could actually get under after they pass the fear of the big shock of what just happened. They understand the reality of it and how I'm trying to create something different from everything that we're suffering right now with price manipulation and things that are out there in the world.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not. I've been watching this now since the last time you were on, and you can't deny the yield that's been happening. I've been watching the price of the VI token pretty consistently since the last time you were on. And granted, while you obviously have the power to dump it by 30, 40 cents on a whim, I get what you're trying to express. Like I'm just as a YouTuber, obviously, that's bringing this whole concept, this DeFi app to the public. I can see what they're thinking, so I have to address what they're thinking. And just I'm just in the middle. I get both sides, right? Like I understand what you're trying to do. I understand what you're trying to demonstrate. And you're right. This is the same kind of thing that anybody could effectively do, especially if they're a founder of anything, right?
Yeah.
You're saying, listen, even if I did rug, it's only going to get down to this far. Like this is all the power I have. I'll show you how much power I have. This is it, right? I get that.
So you can calculate your risk,
right?
And when you go into what's the biggest thing with crypto, they say this is price speculation, right? But Valinity, there's no price speculation. You know your limits. You know where the risk is, which is 0.00107 Ethereum. That's where the risk is. There's no more risk than that. And then you see you get 50% risk, which is at the top, or you get 30%, 20%, or 0% risk, depending where the price is. I'm just showing you that there's no price speculation here. It's just pure mathematics. Every single transaction generates more Ethereum for each coin. Have you known by minting, burning, or staking? Generates more Ethereum per coin. You know how much Ethereum is back in each coin. You know can't go under that. Even if I wanted to, now is your risk tolerance. Now you go into it, not price speculation, but now actual mathematics. Now real thing, knowing now no one has power. Even the one that has the biggest power, which is Sergio, can't get it under this price point. So that's what I'm trying to explain. And I understand if people are like pretty shocked and like, oh, wow, that's fine. That's what I want to create. I want to create that shock impact. So then after the shock impact, people understand, okay, what really happened? Wow, we actually created an ecosystem or a coin that doesn't go under this price point. And it's just growing through time. right? So now I'm pretty sure that now what the users are seeing and what the commenters are going to be, it's going to be very impactful. But I'm pretty sure that this is going to mature with really good. After a couple of months, and people get to understand the ecosystem much better, they're going to understand everything that's new. It's impactful, right? But what we're trying to do is trying to fix the problems that are out there with my price manipulation and price speculation.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. Number one, people that are, using Ethereum, picking up the VI token to reverse stake on the platform, they're basically getting, the majority of their Ethereum back. So what they're locking into the protocol to get that yield is it's not 100% of the Ethereum. Yeah. You're getting the majority of that back. So you're not risking everything.
Yes.
While everything is a risk, it's not like everybody's like, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to degen into this thing and you're going to throw whatever Ethereum into it. And then you could just decide, fuck the world. I'm having a bad day. I'm going to dump my own market. And everybody's just, screaming. That's not really what this is, which is one of the reasons why I've been a lot more comfortable talking about it and showing it and so forth, because the risk is lower than the majority of what I've seen out there, especially given, like where the yield is undeniable. I mean, it's there. I can claim it whenever the hell I want to.
You can claim it right now. And look at the price to dump right now. Yeah. And your yield did not get affected.
No.
Your yield is there.
It is what it is. Yeah. Once it's there, it's there.
You keep claiming it. You're gonna keep
claiming it. A part of me doesn't want to claim it because I want to show over time what it's accumulated to.
Yes. That's fine. It's gonna be there. Only your tokens can claim it. No one else's. Only your tokens can claim that, right? Each token is able to claim 0.00107 Ethereums, but because as you claimed before we grew there, you claimed, let's say, 0.0105. So that difference is that 0.002, right? Only you are able to claim that because those are backing your tokens.
Yeah.
So yes, it'd be great. You can show it there. It'll be great for me and great for the Valinity to keep showing growth throughout the time. And just you can feel safe that it's just locked into our smart contract, and only your tokens have the key to that ETH.
Yeah, man. I mean, I get it. I think some people are into it. Some people are like skeptical, of course, which I think is the case for anything like this that pops up. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm just going to continue updating people on what I see, what happens to my account, and over time, you're either going to be, like one of the greatest freaking, dudes in DeFi.
Yeah. And then you know what?
We'll
I really honestly believe that this project is going to get to that because of the same thing I just did right now. We're 100% transparent. We're very transparent. We try to show you everything as much as possible, so you don't have to basically. That's what the blockchain was meant for, to be trustless. You don't trust this guy you just met on the show. I'm showing you what the worst case scenario could be.
Right.
I'm showing it to you. I'm not hiding it from you like everyone else, right? What other coins that are just shit coins that are just that actually pisses me off because it ruins what the blockchain was meant for. I can have a whole bunch of coins. I mint them. That costs nothing to me to mint them. I make a marketing scheme to pump it, and then I dump everything and take everyone's money.
Right.
And you guys would prefer to do that than go into an ecosystem that is 100% decentralized, 100% transparent. Every single coin is backed by more and more and more Ethereum that you're able to consistently take out. And I'm showing you instantly what's the worst price point. And that price point is only going up. Right? This is what DeFi was truly meant to be as transparent and decentralized as possible. So now that we saw that, I want to show you and talk a little bit. I want to take 10 minutes to show you about V2 and how that's going to be even a little bit much better. And then after that, I'm going to buy back my tokens because everyone is buying it and reverse staking. A lot of your community is coming in right now. So what I want to show you right now is that in V2, this Ethereum that we have that we've been generating in V2 is going to be split into two different assets. So we're going to be backed by not only by Ethereum, but by Bitcoin and gold. The reason for that is that there's two things. First, price fluctuation. In the bull market, because we are backed by Ethereum and gold, when the bull market is hitting, Our price point, as you've seen right now, will reflect that. And our price point will be going thanks to Ethereum and Bitcoin. But in the bear market, where everything is dumping, including Ethereum and bear, our ecosystem is also backed by gold. So the whole ecosystem will be transferred to gold, and our price point will follow gold's fluctuation. Meanwhile, Ethereum and Bitcoin are dumping. Our coin is going to follow the gold fluctuation. So not only you have a token value that's going to grow in the bull market thanks to Ethereum and Bitcoin, but also stay steady or grow in the bear market as well because it's backed by gold.
But how are you able to back it by gold?
So what we do is the same thing as right now is backed by Ethereum. So this right now, which is 1,358 Ethereums, is going to be split up in three. It's going to be 1/3 of it's going to stay in Ethereum, 1/3 of it's going to be Bitcoin, and 1/3 of it is gold. So instead of you just seeing 0.0107 ETH, you're going to be able to see that you can either reverse stake it in Ethereum and claim Ethereum. You can reverse stake it in Bitcoin and claim Bitcoin, or you can reverse stake it in gold and claim gold.
How are you? But that's what I'm saying. How? Like nobody's handing you a 5-ounce bar of gold. Like how are you?
So then there's two things. One, remember that Valinity's value or what we have like under management right now is this amount of Ethereum. It will never go under this because one, we have it in our vault, which you can see that this grew because I had to pay back some Ethereum to sell mine, or we have it in debt. So when we're going to transfer it, we're going to use this Ethereum. We're going to do a governance vote. A third of this Ethereum is going to buy wrapped Bitcoin, and another third of it is going to be packs full gold. And this which is debt, is going to be the debt. It's going to be third of it in Ethereum, third of it in wrapped Bitcoin, and a third of it in packs gold. So you're going to see, for example, in your staked V, you're going to see that it's going to turn into three different assets. Your staked V not only is Ethereum, but now also Bitcoin and gold. Were you able to follow me there? It's going to
No, because I still don't understand how gold plays a role in it.
Because the coin Pax for Gold?
No.
Okay, Pax Gold is a token. It's a very big token on the Ethereum network, and it's backed 1 to gold. So you can Google it right now. Let's go to see if I can put it up for you. Go to CoinMarketCap. And we go Pax for Gold.
Pax Gold, $2,337. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, this one right here. This is Pax Gold.
I've never heard of this.
It's a big token. It's the Binance Uniswap. It's a very big token. Has a big market. It's a big gold. This one is the same company that backed BUSD. So if you remember BUSD, when the Binance called, they holded all the dollars for each dollar for each BUSD. They're very regulated. They're a very big company. They do a lot of regulations in the United States.
So this company, I wish I would have known about this a long time ago. So basically, buying this is equivalent to buying what, an ounce of gold?
Yes. So it's pegged 1 to gold. They're holding the gold and they're getting audited consistently to make sure that they hold that gold.
Getting audited by who?
By the SEC, by all the financial institutions in the States, and also the New York. I don't want to say this wrong live, but the New York something. They're the same ones that were doing the BUSD before the SEC got involved and told them to debug. But so then through this is how we're going to hold gold.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't even know this existed, honestly, because I don't follow gold. So when you're like, it's backed by gold, I'm like, no, it's not. How are you going to do that with a big lump of heavy gold?
Yes. So think about it. Now in V2, that's already on development. Iterate has already started working on it. It's actually, the tokenomics are right behind me. We've been working on this very hard. Now that we saw V1 works and how beautiful it is, and it keeps on growing and people are loving it, now we're going to get that Ethereum. We're going to cut it up in three. A third of it's going to stay in Ethereum. A third of it's going to be in wrapped Bitcoin on the Ethereum network. And a third of it's going to be packed for gold. It's going to be on gold. In the bull market, our price is going to go to the highest performing asset, which is either Ethereum or Bitcoin. And our price point is going to follow that. And then in the bear market, when Ethereum, Bitcoin crash, then it's going to switch to gold, and our price point is going to be in gold. So think about this. How beautiful does it sound? Is that a token that in the bull market is growing because of Ethereum, Bitcoin, and in the bear market, meanwhile everything is dropping, it's following the gold price, and so consistently. That's the first point where the big thing that's happening in V2. And the second point is that now there's a much bigger way to generate even more yield. You see that yield that you've been getting right now from all the transaction fees, staking burns, and minting of Ethereum. That's what's been generating more yield for you. So now when V2 happens, there's going to be a third one that's going to generate much more yield for you. And I want you to please try to pay attention to this because it's a little bit tricky. Let's say right now, you have your coins locked, as you can see in your wallet. You have them locked, and you have them locked because you've claimed this amount of Ethereum, which the price point of it is right now 32 cents, correct? Mm-hmm. Let's say the bear market comes, right? And this amount of Ethereum is the same, but the value of it is much less. Now it's not 32 cents. Let's say it's 20 cents because the price of Ethereum dropped. But because we have gold in our ecosystem, now you're able to unstake there and go and reverse stake in gold. You pay back 20 cents and you reverse stake it in gold and you get 30 cents out. So you made like 10 cents just by unstaking in Ethereum and go reverse staking in gold because of the bear market, because the price fluctuations. Now you got much more yield. Now you got much more liquidity. So not only that Valinity is going to generate liquidity to you by reverse staking, getting minimum 50% out. Not only by every transaction fee generating more Ethereum that you can get more Ethereum out, but now the price fluctuations of our three assets of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and gold, you're able to take out even more liquidity without having to sell the token. So what did we create? We created a token that is consistently generating yield for you, going to give you a big percentage of your money out, consistently generate more for you, give you price fluctuation between different assets that you take out, and you still have the asset, you still have the token consistently growing in value in the market that you haven't even sold, and you just took out all this money out. Mm-hmm. And when you sum it up together, what did we create? We created a decentralized, transparent BlackRock, an asset manager that is going to buy Ethereum, Bitcoin, and gold for you. That token is going to be backed by Ethereum, Bitcoin, and gold, and it's going to follow the price of those three assets, and you're going to get liquidity from it. So it's basically an asset manager that's just buying Ethereum, Bitcoin, and gold with all the community's liquidity pool. And all this is 100% decentralized, 100% transparent, 100% audited by the biggest auditing firm in the world. So for those people that are saying, okay, this sounds too good to be true, what did we do? We looked at the biggest coins in the market. Of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum don't have audits, but if you go to USDT and you see that under audits, you have CertAc. You go under Binance, you see the one that have audits is CertAc. If you go to XRP, you have CertAc. So CertAc is the biggest auditing firm out there. Our whole ecosystem has been 100% audited by CertAc. That all these audits show you that the ecosystem is 100% decentralized, transparent, and locked. So what I'm saying that it does that, and you can go check it out right now.
I'm actually curious how your how Valinity would score under as a Crow score, because I've got a new team that I put together. I've got 3 guys that are like super high end guys in Web3, and they've been putting together this whole like deep system on how we're going to start rating blockchain projects. Yes. And I'm curious how this would score out. We're getting there. We're getting ready to kick it off in a yeah, somebody's already asking, or okay, Chef is asking about it. I wonder how it'd be a Crow score. Yeah,
it would be the best, because why would I say it would be the best? The most confident, because you don't have to. The only thing that I'm asking you to trust me is that more Ethereum, less coins equal that more Ethereum back in each coin. That's the only really thing that I'm claiming, right? Everything else now is on the blockchain. Now you and your team go check it out on the blockchain. Is that true? Does every single transaction make it that there's less coins and more Ethereum? If that's true and this is locked and cannot be opened, then the security score is there. You get what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's now, I'm just telling you that 2 + 2 = 4. You believe that 2 + 2 = 4. Now that's what the Ethereum network is for. That you don't have to trust me. Now that's what Certec is there for. So you don't have to trust me. Now we add all these different assets and we created what I believe is the perfect asset. An asset that keeps on growing in price because it's generating more Ethereum, more gold, more Bitcoin, and it's consistently generating liquidity for you so you don't have to sell. So if you don't have to sell, you already took out majority of money out or 100% of money out, or you keep taking out more money, why would you ever sell? You would only sell because if you have to, you're like, oh my God, this yield that's generating for me or what I've claimed is not enough. I need to go sell it in the market. But if you think about it, everyone that's selling X or Y coin is because they need liquidity. The ecosystem gives you liquidity without having to sell. So there's less sellers, less offer, more demand, and the ecosystem just keeps on growing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're going to continue looking into it, and
Yes.
you know, I get it. I mean, I feel like you're some people, this is just going to go over their head regardless, right?
Yes.
Like, it's just, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's just some people are just not going to get the numbers. They're not going to get how it works. It's going to be a little complicated. There are a lot of people out there that just like to buy the next meme coin and watch their wallet go up and hope they sell in time. That's never going to change. And you know, while I understand the concept and I've been watching it and everything, I get it. You know, ultimately there is still risk. Like, you know, even though Certic may say, hey, the smart contract's clean, there's no backdoor, there's no, you know, or whatever they say, I don't even remember offhand, but it's like, you know, there's always risk, period, in crypto.
The risk,
and there's always going to be risk for as long as you hold a big bag, right? I mean, just to be real about it. So there's always going to be a risk that it could come down dramatically overnight if you've had a bad day. And so when we say trustless, you know, there is a difference, I think, to some extent between completely trustless in the sense that, you know, all of your liquidity is locked up for 2-3 years. You don't have access to your, you know, initial tokens, but you do. So you do have the ability to at least bring the price down very quickly if you wanted to. Obviously, it doesn't make much sense for you to do that. But
yeah,
you know.
You're 100% right. There is those risks. One risk is that, you know, the floor price and where you're getting at, that's your risk. So if you're buying it at 60 cents, your risk is 32 cents. So your risk is 30 cents. That's what you're risking. Because if I had a bad day, just like you said, I could sell everything and take it to 32 cents. But from there, I can't go more. It's impossible. So your risk is 30 cents. But like right now, the people, if you look at Dex Screener, a lot of the people that are coming in right now, the price is already almost at 50 cents.
So basically, those people
are buying at 50 cents, their risk is at 30. So they're risking now 20 cents. Do you get what I'm saying? So the risk,
the way it breaks down is if you put in, you know, if you decided you were trying this out and you put in 1 Ethereum, you're getting roughly 80% of that Ethereum back once you've reverse staked the VI tokens you've initially bought anyway. And then of that, like whatever's left over, the potentially up to half of that could be potentially at risk, basically if the VI token met its floor price. So the risk is limited with potentially pretty high return over a period of time. I get the whole system.
There's nothing in the world without risk. It would be impossible. I'll probably be the richest person in the world if I created something that has 0 risk, 100% return. But what I did create is a system where you can see and you can calculate your risk, that there is not speculation.
It's all speculative. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. It's all based on speculation.
Now Ethereum, right? You have to deal with now Ethereum. But then after Bitcoin and gold, then you like if Ethereum drops, gold is not going to drop at the same time, right? It has to be something crazy has to happen for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and gold, all of it to drop at the same time.
Here's what I think ultimately this boils down to, Sergio. It's like you could have the best motives, intentions ever, right?
Yeah.
It's still blockchain. So and you still retain a lot of power within this protocol. Okay. So I think while you're consistently wanting to sell the idea that like this is a no-brainer, everything is transparent, et cetera, I get that. And everyone is saying, okay, we'll know in time, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of one of those things where it's like, we're all the pretty girls on a date with you. You're trying to get up our skirt. We're saying, I don't know you well enough yet. Right? Like, let's just be real. That's what's happening.
Yes. And no,
so in enough time, over time, once you've proven yourself and the system has grown and things have gone well for a while, then people might put on a little extra nice perfume for you and let's go hang out in the truck after the movie, right? Right now, you looking 10 years younger than you did the first time I saw you on here isn't going to be enough for some of these folks. So
everyone's like, this is still going to be true. He's getting younger. The protocol's getting better. Yeah, I understand. 100%. At the end of the day, this project has been developed for 5 years. This is not new. And what everyone's saying in the chats and what you're saying, I've been hearing this, but every day is less and less. Every day people are getting it and getting it and getting it. It's less. So what you're saying, I'm open 100% for it. I understand. Everyone's been screwed nonstop. I've been screwed nonstop. And that's why I created this ecosystem. That's why I try to create it as more transparent and decentralized and get it as audited as possible. Right? So yes, like you said, my intentions are as best as possible. And I'm not God. Like quantum computing can come today and destroy Ethereum and screw the whole thing. Right, that there's that risk.
Quantum computing's already here, dude. Don't let them fool you.
Okay, there you go. There's the risk of quantum computing can come, right? And the risk that I can dump it to 32 cents or to not even 32 cents to 0.00107 Ethereum, whatever that is. That's the risk. Those are the two risks. And through time, people are going to get it. I don't expect at all in this call that your community or you like, oh my God, this is it. Let's go jump 1,000 in of it. Let's go to the truck, like you just said. I'm not expecting that, but I am showing you.
Right.
I'm showing you little by little, and then hopefully in a couple months that we have another call. Now you see 1,400 Ethereums. Now you see 1,500 Ethereums. Now you see the floor price not 107s, 108, 109, and then you start seeing it, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't expect that to happen right now. I'm just being transparent. I know that big shock, it was like kind of maybe negative, and that's why I was trying to really, my intention was that for you guys to really feel the worst case scenario.
I think ultimately the biggest,
I'm actually going to buy it because I didn't expect so many buyers. I didn't expect so many people. If you look at it, I'm going to share my screen.
Oh yeah, it's back up to 51 cents.
Yeah, and that's not me. That's a lot of people from your ecosystem, maybe people that already understand my ecosystem. Here, I want to show everyone the buys that's here.
Yeah.
See all this here? Mm-hmm. All these people are buying at these price points and are able to reverse take like 80% of their money out.
Right.
So they're getting 100% on the upside, 100% on the upside, but much less risk. Like 30% risk, 100% on the upside. Now I'm gonna buy back my coins, and you're gonna see that even me buying back my coins is going to generate Ethereum for everyone. So now I'm going to do this back because I didn't expect so many people to jump in so fast. So I'm going to do this. And then hopefully people are are getting little by little what we are trying to do here. So perfect. So now the price is going to go back up. I'm being very transparent. I'm buying all back my tokens again. And you'll see that the price will go back up to where it was, even a little bit higher. And it's going to mint more Ethereum for everyone. You're actually going to generate more yield right now in your own wallet. And everyone that holds Valinity is going to generate more yield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how long it takes to propagate to everything, but yeah, I think ultimately for you, man, it's just a time thing. you know, I think the more confirmations you get in not only the application, but you know, the more people start to see, you know, and understand what you've built, how you're growing it. And yeah, I just think time, you know what I mean? It's time. I think the more people can learn about you, the more third party groups, and it's not just selling myself, but the more third party looks you have into what you've built and you and everything else.
I would love. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah.
You had
Well,
a group
it's
of experts.
new. We just put this together because it's one of those things where, you know, I don't talk about a lot of altcoins on my channel anymore because I don't trust the majority of them.
Yes.
And, you know, now I've got guys who have launched, you know, high 7-figure Web3 companies. And, you know, they're engineers, they're very high level engineers and programmers and you name it. And like, I mean, they can go in and chew up your code, brother. Like they can
That's
go
what
in
I want.
and
I really
you know,
want that. I want that as much as possible. I want to be as transparent. I want to show everyone that what I'm trying to do is actually something good for blockchain because I really believe that blockchain is the future. But here, I just want to explain everyone what just happened. So I just bought back my coins. So you see the same wallet. I just bought back my 55. You see the sell here. This is not an actual sell. What this did is that it went over the mint price. So the ecosystem got this amount of dollars and minted, if you follow where the money went, and went to our smart contract. It went here. So if you go back to our coins, you see the amount of Ethereum, it went up. See, the amount of Ethereum went up, and now you and everyone else that holds Valinity just generated yield.
Okay.
So that's basically what I'm trying to show, and I'm really open for that, and I would love to do that. I would love to do that, and even doing it in live. Let me know how we could get that process started, because that's actually what I want to do. I want to have the best auditing firms looking at this and then showing, okay, yeah, like this is locked. We just have to trust that basically more Ethereum, less coins equal more Ethereum per coin. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time I've ever seen the price go under 60 cents since we started this. So I think the highest I saw was at like 86 cents. I can't remember specifically, but yeah, man.
So the highest was like 82 cents. And when Ethereum comes back to 4,000, we're gonna explode that. We're gonna top that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll talk to the team and see what they want to do, and I'll wait and I'll get feedback from the comments if they think it's, you know, should we do something? Should we work something out to get Valinity a deep dive crow score, just a basic crow score? What do you guys want? Yeah, man, we'll just keep going and see, and I'll just continue updating people on what I see in my Valinity account. And you know, obviously you're always around anytime I need you for anything.
I'm always around. We're always working hard, and we're always around. Any question, you guys let me know. And let me know, please, community, if you guys think this is too good to be true, that there's some BS, please tell Crow to give me the biggest deep dive up my butt as much as possible, so you guys can actually see what we're trying to do is something great. We're trying to actually just move what blockchain and decentralization is, to actually create real DeFi, real decentralized finance.
What they're doing right now is they're building a lot of this stuff out to be, some of it is going to be part of an automated system with manual labor involved in the system. So it's hard to explain, but we're not explaining a lot of it openly, because some of what they're going to do to get the real meat, they don't want
people to know how to block.
They don't want anybody to know what to expect, because we don't want anybody to say, okay, well, we know they're going to look at this, that, and this, so we want to make sure that this, that, and this is in place before we subject ourselves, right? Yeah, it's kind of because I've had people do that in the past, and when I was doing just my basic metrics, And so, you know, people would come and they'd be like, hey, you know, look at our project, tell us what you think. And then I would tell them, and they'd be like, okay, well, we'll come back to you in like a few weeks or whatever. And they make a bunch of change. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. That's not how this shit works, you know? So, but yeah, man, we'll talk more about it. And yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is. And everybody that's met you and hung out with you and spent time with you really likes you. I know that, like, you know, and apparently you want to beat my ass for some reason. I don't know. I don't really know how I feel.
I love your initial reaction.
Who's been training in Mexico his whole life. That's like Superman coming down from Krypton and fucking with us Earthlings. So, you know, I'm a big dude, man. I'm dangerous as hell for a minute, but then I got to take a nap. I'm sure you could probably go forever. So I don't know.
I don't know, but we can do it. And I've been boxing for a while, so you're gonna know it's gonna be fun. It's not like those new fighters that come in and can't control it. They don't understand it's sport. We'll have fun if we want to. Right?
Okay.
I loved your initial reaction when I did that dump. I loved it. I love how everyone acted. That's
you took a dump and everyone in chat took a shit. Like everyone, wait, what? What is happening right now? So yeah, you scared the hell out of everybody.
Oh yes, that's amazing. I'm happy I had that effect, and hopefully you guys go in and look at this and see that we're trying to create something good.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, listen, folks, here it is. That's Sergio Solano with Valinity. I'll continue updating you on my account as we move forward into 2024, and we'll figure out something to do with the crow score, whether we do a crow score or a deep dive or whatever. I have to talk to the team because there's costs associated with some of that stuff, and we'll figure it out. But you know, until next time, guys, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day. I have so much to do today. And I will, well, thank you, Sergio, for joining me. I'll be in touch with you, obviously, and the rest of you guys, crow your coins, and I'll see you again soon.